We will call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this point, we're going to continue the public hearing for the sales and use permits for the THC ordinance.
Yeah, so just to kind of go over this rather quickly, the Planning Commission has looked at the ordinances that the City Council's been reviewing since January. They did have very good discussion at our meeting on the 26th, and they recommended that we basically present two options to the council for tonight's hearing. One is to keep everything that you saw in January, the original ordinances, and then the other one is they suggest that we change the boundaries a little bit for the, the distance for getting your license. The ordinance here says 750 from a school, 400 from a park, a daycare. I would even suggest you make that 700, because the Planning Commission, I think, agreed that it's better to provide the opportunity, more so than what we had in January, because you remember the ordinances in January. It really didn't allow for much in town. So I do have a summary sheet that I put together that just kind of highlights the ordinances. Anybody have any questions? Huh? Actually, I used one of mine.
Yes.
Is there a map?
Yeah.
Question, is it that's where,
What do you please?
You weren't here, Lauren, sorry, we have to use the podium for their YouTube crowd.
Your name.
okay, Lauren Tester, is the ordinance set to 700 feet, does that pose concerns or issues for other businesses or other daycares opening up, and then they would then also be restricted on where they could open their daycare center based on where this could be developed?
So if somebody wanted to come and open a daycare, they certainly could. We would not say no to them, but that restriction would not apply to the daycare. And with regard to an existing business, they would not be crossed out or their license would not be revoked. Once the license is granted, they would be in good standing unless there was some sort of a violation that would trigger suspension or revocation.
Well, then, should that business be sold, it would have to be relicensed. It's not transferable, correct?
Correct. In that situation, then yes, the license would not reissue.
I also want to point out one other thing. The Planning Commission talked about this. If you happen to be within one of these limits, you can apply for a conditional use permit to at least go through the public hearing process, notifying the neighbors around the business, within 350 feet, like it says in state law. So the conditional use permit is still an option in the B1 and B2 zones. That's one thing that the Planning Commission did want to add.
So like this one, say the bowling alley, you would be able to apply for that then?
Apply for that.
So nobody is flat out just
Saying
out,
you can't?
right.
Okay,
There is an option.
okay.
Correct.
Megan Lugent, this says low potency on the 700 and all over it. Was the high potency, is that going to stay like the 1,500 feet, the maximum, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd move on the change to 700 feet. That's the action.
I'll second this move.
Okay, maybe what we should do is ask for more comment and then close the meeting, or close the hearing, and then you guys can do that.
Okay.
Is there any more public comment? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Now,
So we need a motion to adopt ordinances A through E with the, change to 700 feet for the local OC.
Yep.
Make that motion.
I'll second his motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
I will abstain, 401. We did have, Todd Trainer is gonna join us on the utility board, and he did his first meeting a couple hours ago. So we're gonna add that to the agenda, just to approve Todd to sit on our board there. Other than that, I have no changes or additions.
We do have a couple items with, Public Works. Joe was here tonight,
Okay.
so we're gonna look at some quotes and bids on different items.
We'll just do that under staff reports when it's his turn?
Yeah.
Okay. With those changes, I would make a motion to approve the agenda. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda?
Yes, you have minutes from the last council meeting, February 10th. We have your receivables and also payables. Sarah Jo, I believe, has a few payables she'd like to point out. If you would do that, please.
Some besides our normal, our Northland Trust Services, paid on our Series 2016A bond. It was just over 82,000. Covered bridge furniture, Joe got those benches ordered, that was 4,743. We had a couple more bills for the Safe Routes to School from Bolton and Mink, that came to just under 12,000. We paid that first quarter staff services to CETA this month, that's 10,467. Our work comp 2025 bill from the league came in through, that was just over 50,000. And then the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association, our first quarter safety program bill was 4,373. Other than that, everything was pretty normal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public forum. Anyone wish to speak to your public forum? Public forum? Notice and communications.
I have none.
Council reports.
I have none at the moment, but I would like to get, the ball rolling on a golf board meeting. You know, it's warming up and that'll be getting going here soon.
Let's start out with, Park Road. We were short a couple of board members, so we really couldn't do much at the last meeting. We had a few discussions. We did learn that the person at HUD that Rita had been using for several years, she was scheduled to take a vacation in February. She made it permanent with a government buyout apparently, and she's not coming back. And Rita called up and asked who's going to be working with her, and they really don't have an answer now. So, it'll take a little bit to get the finances, HUD reports back in line where they were. Last time we met with EDA, we spent most of the time that we were here talking to CADA and meeting the gentleman that was here at that time. can't think of anything else that we really did there. And, community center, last time the community center met, they set their mind on using the, nonprofit status that they've acquired, and they would like to, start with charitable gambling somehow. And they've got several different people and ways that they're looking into that and getting the licensing and such for that. The next thing I did is Clinton kind of stuck me on library detail. I've met, on the paint job, I met with Andy. Another thing at the library is there is a big monument in front of the library sitting on a 1-foot thick piece of concrete that has multiple cracks in it, and there's some fear of it maybe tumbling over. So, I know the Legion Club is meeting tomorrow. I intend to, stick my face into their meeting and see if they maybe wouldn't take over the project of repairing or moving that monument. That monument, I believe, was, installed in 1920-something by the League of Women something. So, and it's a list of Civil War veterans that are buried around the Janesville area as far as Elma City. So, it does have some heritage to it, and we don't want to offend anybody by just uprooting it. Personally, I'd like to see it in Memorial Park, but that's just me, so whether the rest of the citizens in town agree or not, we'll find out. That's what I have.
Okay.
The Women's Relief Corps was organized in 1893. There we go. And the bronze tablet was installed in 1929.
Kyle?
Planning Commission, we met on the 26th. A lot of what we talked about was the cannabis. You all received that, and we looked over that.
That's tonight's agenda as well.
Yes.
Right. We also talked about the variance request. After the Planning Commission talked about it, it is their feeling to go ahead and approve that variance. With going along with that, there was an accessory structure talk going on about what can be done in front and backyards and whatnot. They decided to push that, I believe, a month to get some more information and more clarification push on to council. The park board met. We did a lot of talking about songs in the park. Looking forward to continuing this year and expanding in as many ways as we can. Not a lot there that needed to come to council, I don't think. There was talk of, in the past, there used to be a farmer's market here in town, right out here on the road.
Thursday evenings, I believe it was.
Something like that. There was talk about organizing another one. They're looking to somebody to head that project and get it back on track and find out days and times.
I was gonna tell Ivan to do that.
What?
The more work you do, the less time you're in here.
I don't believe there was anything else during the park meeting that needed to come to council, unless Clinton can think of something.
Well, I think Joe has some items tonight, so.
Oh, right, there, the rest of what we talked about in the park meeting will be brought up by Joe later on.
Perfect. Sarah?
The nursing home, in July will be their 60th anniversary, so they're thinking about doing something maybe for the community, big, huge celebration of sorts, maybe. And that's about it.
You said 60?
60, 60, yes.
Like I said, we do have a new member on the utility board tonight. As well as we did send it out on Facebook and the text, we did have someone contact one of our customers saying that they were us. It's a scam going around, so if you're questioning it, hang up and call City Hall directly. Our number should come up on your caller ID. You know, it goes without saying, don't hand out information unless you're sure about what you're doing. Administrator report. Oh, I have one more thing. Waseca Janesville section championship is over. Waseca 74, Janesville 38.
Thank you.
Clinton administrator report.
Yes, okay, attached in your packet is the reconciliation from the bank for February. You also have the cash balance report as of last Friday. Happy to announce this, we have been discussing, the utility board discussed this a little bit too, but you know those CDs that we invested in the beginning of 2024, they are maturing now and we're gonna cash those out. So just the city itself, not including the utility, but the city itself it earned about $32,000 in interest just on those CDs for the last 15 months.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're cashing them out and the money goes in the general fund then?
Well, some of it's golf fund, other is sanitary fund.
You gotta go back to its represented funds, but right now, our money market savings and CD interest are getting close enough together that it's advantageous just to put it back in our savings.
That's where it's going, Ivan. The various funds. Just a few other things here, kind of updates for you. I did get in contact with Waste Management. They have saved Saturday, September 13th for our annual pickup. The last few years, we've averaged about $4,500, and we did budget for that this year in the 2025 budget, so September 13th will be the Janesville date. Planning Commission was also updated on this here a couple weeks ago, but CJ, as you all know, interning with us, is doing a fantastic job updating our comprehensive plan. In the March meeting, we are going to give the plan to the Planning Commission. They have a whole month to review it. Then in April, the Planning Commission, when they meet, they'll conduct a hearing. They'll look at it, they'll get public input, and then we will come to the council meeting shortly after that to get our comprehensive plan updated. And the only other thing I guess I have is, if you noticed a couple weeks ago, we launched like a updated website. So if you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to do it. It's pretty cool, I like it. And if I can click on stuff and find stuff, they must have done a pretty good job with it, so. Then my final thing, you do have the newsletter from the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities in there. Just keep an eye out on the legislative session, please, because there could be some significant changes to housing legislation as it refers to zoning issues, density issues, things like that. So we're just gonna have to keep looking at that, watching that throughout the session. That's all I got.
Regarding the citywide cleanup day, Clinton, I was thinking the bill last fall was over $6,000 for that, and we talked briefly about looking at another option. So, I just wanted to bring that up to you, I guess.
Yeah, and I can contact Waste Management and see what they do for alternatives.
Yeah, because I mentioned at that time that we have a dumpster place here in town, so.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Hey,
Yep, department heads. Who wants to go first? Don't everybody run up here at once now.
Yeah, I don't have much, just a couple bids that I was able to get. I'd like you to review. Yeah, first. We have some park equipment, that we're gonna discuss a little bit, and then our CIP overlays and chip seals.
Yeah, so what do you wanna do first?
Huh?
You wanna do CIP first?
Sure.
Just one, and then I got the second one right there.
Yeah, so this is our overlay schedule for this year. Do you have the map too? Oh, that link I provided you? So we're gonna be focusing most of our, that's chip seal, is the other one up? There, kinda.
Well, we're kinda flipped on our side.
Right. We're gonna be focusing most of our attention on the overlay side of things out in the Northwood addition this year, to try and salvage that before it gets too deteriorated. So we're basically proposing to edge mill and 2-inch overlay basically the whole addition. And I think that bill, or the quotes from, well, we'll just go over. The only other addition to this would be the 2 railroad crossings right over here. To reconstruct those as well. So for the total number side of things,
This is that Irish comment that Ivan just made, right?
scroll, we need WW's and Nielsen's numbers.
WW there.
Oh, that's chip, we're looking at overlay. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
One more page there.
So for the, hold on, for the Northwood edition, the WW came in right around 106,356 with the addition of, next page, railroad crossings at 13,928. So they came in for a total overlays for $120,284. And Nielsen quoted $123,921. So WW came in just under Nielsen's bid for the overlays. Chip seal. Scroll down, you can just, I think the map is on this one. That's our chip seal map we're proposing for this year. North Teal Street, East 2nd, Market Street, a couple blocks off of 2nd Street, Becker Street, and then Oak Street, and the Southern Elm for chip seal. And those numbers came in at, WW was $46,600, and Minnesota Roadways, company out of Shakopee, came in at $72,120.
Wow.
So, any questions on what we have proposed here tonight?
This all works within your budgeted numbers?
So we budgeted $150,000 for CIP, so we're gonna be just a touch over that. And I propose to cover, the overage with the small cities aid we received last year, which is monies that are designated for roads, so.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Out of the Northwoods edition, you know, where there's a big swale, will they, when they go to edge mill that, are they gonna fill that and then
So it's
kind
gonna
of
be,
re-crown?
it's gonna kind of be as we go, once we get there and see, get things opened up. No, it's my hope that would get corrected, yes, And it's tough too with some of them shallow storms, everything shifts so much, but this would get us some time, buy us a lot of time, so, yeah.
You want action on this separate from his other stuff?
I would say, let's do this, yeah.
Okay.
A motion to accept the lowest bid, quote from WW on seal coat and overlay.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So the only other quotes we have for you tonight are park equipment. I know we had the park board we were talking about, and they talked about last year about adding, really focusing on Veterans Park across the street, and adding a climber unit, kind of a rope net type unit. So we went out for bids, and I got one from Game Time, from Minnesota Wisconsin Playground, as well as St. Croix Recreation. Do you have the photo of the Minnesota Wisconsin one? Might have to Google it.
Something in here?
No. Just so they can kind of see. Yeah, it won't be in that one. I think the park board was really on board with the design we had from Minnesota, Wisconsin. And we were just kind of waiting for St. Croix for some final numbers to see where they came in at. So I just wanted to get you a visual of what we're proposing.
Okay.
Game Time. Vista Rope 8.
Huh?
Vista. Rope 8. Yeah.
He's like my dad trying to teach me this stuff. Right here?
It should be, yeah. Yep, that's it. So that's the design the park board really liked. It, obviously, it won't be neon green, most likely blue or red. But that would be placed right where kind of the volleyball court is over there. We'll be removing that and just kind of extending the playground equipment further that way. So that's the option A, and the total price for that installed, I think came to what, 52,500 installed, and that's with the engineered wood fiber installed as well. And the other estimate from St. Croix for the equipment alone was $46,296.56.
For the same thing?
Nope, for that was the other picture.
Oh.
I sent them this, I said, get us something as close as you can to this, and this is what they came up with, which we can already have most of those amenities incorporated into what we currently have over there, so it kind of, I would like to have seen more nets, more ropes, but that's what we got, so. And then I don't know what, they were supposed to get back to me as well on the install price. So do we need to proceed, a motion to, I know the park board recommends the Vista Rope 8 system. I guess any questions?
And we did mention to the park board at their meeting that, you know, we were waiting to get some of these bids. The park board could not review it that night. But Joe and I did tell them that you're gonna be meeting in a couple of weeks, so we could just bring it to you so we can get it ordered.
Well, certainly when you add labor to this one, it's gonna...
Labor and mulch.
It's gonna well exceed the first
Yeah.
bid, so as far as,
Yeah.
we typically look for a low price, and also Minnesota, Wisconsin is still used to using.
You can still get this order in under the wire to avoid that inflation we were talking about?
You said the 12th, so, yeah.
Okay.
So we contact him tomorrow.
The 11th.
Motion to approve option A, or whatever we're calling it there, the Minnesota, Wisconsin equipment.
That's the spiral one, or that one?
No, it's
Spiral one.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else for us, Joe?
Not really, just, only other update, we're just managing equipment back together from the massive blizzard, so.
Quick question, pickleball nets,
Yeah,
are they up?
not yet,
Okay.
no.
I had somebody ask when they were gonna put them up, and I said, I'll ask.
It'd have been great today, but the weather's gonna turn.
Oh,
again.
I totally get it.
Yeah, we were just kinda waiting to.
Just
maybe
passing it on to
Another
the
week
residents.
maybe, and then we'll probably have them up, yeah. So, any other questions for me?
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Kelly?
Hello, Kelly Kapleen with the Janesville Public Library. I don't have a ton I didn't have a lot ready. Clinton just invited me, but we're gonna talk about the painting of the library, right, Ivan?
Yes.
All right.
Would you like me to proceed a little bit, or do you wanna go?
I would let you, since you
All
have the
right.
bid and everything.
As long as we're kind of in this mode, we're just gonna jump C up to right now. So everybody's not confused.
In your packet, there was the estimate for the painting of the library from Diana Grelbauer, a Janesville resident. Diana is a little concerned because the library is old, and there's cracks and flaking on the paint. So when she goes to prep the wall, those old walls are extremely rough. And she is worried that you're still gonna see where she has patched in and tried to get the wall in better condition. That you may still be able to see some of those marks will bleed through the paint. They won't be cracks, but they'll be evident. She's really concerned about that. I know Kelly and the library crew has offered to move all the books out of the shelves because those shelves are backless, so Diana has to paint behind all the books on the shelves. Diana and her crew, she's not working by herself. She's going to paint the upper part a lighter color, probably a white or off-white, and then a slate gray on the bottom.
Potentially, we're still
Potentially,
discussing
yeah.
colors, yep.
Working with the Historical Society a little bit on that.
Yep, Clinton and our library director are, yes.
Yeah. In the entryway at the library, she will paint the walls. She is not gonna touch the woodwork, nor is she touching the woodwork in the rest of the library. That woodwork in the entryway, because it's a southern door with sunlight year-round, is pretty much blistered or lost all the varnish it had. And, she's just not comfortable touching that part of the project. So she may be in the future, but for now, she's just going to, her bid is to paint the walls on the main library and the entryway. She has a lot of suggestions on how we can make the place look better. Just keep throwing money at it, it'll get better. We haven't done anything for a long time, we need to play catch-up. So,
We did place extra money in the budget this year for some of these repairs in the library, so.
The amount on her bid for painting is $6,050. That includes the labor, the paint, and her throwaway supplies that she says she uses. She was estimating that's 3 people, 4 days to complete that project.
It's typically the council's practice to get 2 bids on everything.
Aye.
However, we tried very hard to find someone else, nobody else even wants to bid it, so. Tonight, we're working with 1.
I know it's just naive, but why can't we do something like a painting party or something to let people just come paint?
Well, there is cracks and some repairs and stuff that need to be done too. There's nothing that says we can't do that.
So could we get a bid that's just for the repair part?
Possibly.
Doesn't matter that it's
Because, I mean, I would
historical.
paint for a couple hours, Laura, she would paint for a couple hours, I mean, I'm sure we could find other people in the community that are willing to paint.
Yes, there's nothing that says we can't do that. Some of an issue may be repairing paint. It's all gonna have to be done on a time schedule due to the moving Walden books. I also did speak with Reed Nimchek, who was gonna talk to the NHS about helping move books too, so. D, if you would, just 'cause there is people watching on YouTube tonight, thank you.
County Commissioner Dee Malter, and your representative from the county on the library board. I really appreciate the investment that the city council is willing to make in our historic Carnegie Library. And I also appreciate the suggestion that it might make a great community activity. That the building belongs to the city, and it is the city's to care for as a historic building and also as a working library. Just so everybody understands, the collection itself is owned by the library system. All the books are not owned by the library, and they're not owned by the city. They're owned by the collective Waseca-LeSueur library system. And so I know our staff, their concern and their job is to make sure that they are caring for the space that you have provided, but particularly for the collection, because your library system puts in between $100,000 and $200,000 a year in new collection throughout the system, 9 libraries. And so I am all about having NHS help and even have the community help, but whatever we do, we want to end up with a good product. So anytime community gets involved, I'm excited about that possibility. We want to think about, well, your 5-year-old can't come and help, because that's going to be a mess. You know, just those practical considerations that we got to keep in mind, because we want, if this gets painted once every 20 years, let's make sure it gets a good job.
If it's once every 20 years, we're looking at $300 a year, so it's not a lot of money.
There you go. So I really appreciate the investment you're willing to make in the library to make it a more welcoming place. We know that as a historic building, it's not highly accessible. This is an issue, but we keep managing, and as a community, we make sure that people that need to get in the library can, and our librarian is absolutely awesome about serving people who can't get into the library, meeting them, you know, on the sidewalk or wherever she has to make that happen. So thank you for making a library in Janesville possible, because it only happens because you provide for it. So thank you.
Lauren Tester, as a frequent flyer, and I do watch Kelly kick butt all the time. I guess even as a member of the community, wasn't aware that we were even looking for quotes, but is it still an option to get more quotes? Or, as an example, I formerly worked for an employer in Mankato that they do like nonprofit paintings as like their company does it like free. So I don't know, like, if any of those avenues were investigated or looked into either.
No, we didn't look outside of Janesville.
Okay. I don't know if those are still options, or if hoping to be approved today to start, or what the options might be.
Well, I know ultimately, yes, the hope is to approve it, keep things moving up there. Doesn't mean we have to. Input, Ivan? This is kinda your baby?
Yeah, it's not my baby, belongs to the people of Janesville. If we could get a citizens' community or a better price for painting, we can certainly find other places to spend that money. We are looking at furnace repair or replacement up there also possibly this year. So, you know, like I said, we have all that woodwork in the main part that needs to be addressed at some place down the road. We just can't do everything this year. I was thinking I would make a motion to appoint you two fine citizens to bird dog this and go see if you can find another bid or enough people in the community to do the job well, and bring those results back at our next meeting. I would make that a motion. You would take that.
I have no problem with that.
Give it a month and see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Can live with that.
Okay,
Okay.
so that was a second then?
Sure. Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else, Kelly?
Anything else, Kelly?
All is good if we keep working on the list. I understand that everything's not gonna get done in here, but as long as we keep looking at it and I'll keep paying attention and we all work together.
Wonderful.
Any questions for me at all?
You can help them on their committee.
I'll make sure, I'd like it kind of done before the summer reading program starts.
That'd be wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Under administration, A is variance, 101 Hendricks Lane.
Mike Gardner, 101 Hendricks Lane, has requested a variance to add an addition to the west side of his house. His house presently lies on the rear yard setback, so the planning commission held a public hearing to look at that variance request. We advertised 350 feet around the property. I've received no comments, questions. Didn't receive anything from anybody. The planning commission, nobody showed up for the public hearing, so the planning commission recommends approval of resolution 2025-5, approving the variance request.
Motion to approve resolution 2025-05.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
B, our current contract with CETA.
Yeah, Dave from CETA is here tonight. I'd like to visit with the council about what has happened and kind of what our plans are moving forward, so if you have any questions for Dave. Let me get this open.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm here if you guys have any questions.
Okay.
We appreciate the fact that you guys are going with CETA. I will admit, we kind of dropped the ball on the first one. We had two excellent candidates that we interviewed, but looking at what you wanted, we went with the candidate we did because he was able to be here 3 days a week, and we felt he might be able to hit the ground running a little bit faster. That isn't the case. We do have a plan. The other candidate that they've been working for us since September, and they are finishing their master's degree at Mankato. So the issue with them is they can't be here on Tuesday. They have brick and mortar classes on Tuesday. So what we're proposing is going forward for at least the next couple of months, I will work here every Tuesday, and I will drive up and make sure we've got everything taken care of on Tuesday. Caitlin will be here on Thursday and Friday. So she's actually, I will be here tomorrow, and Caitlin is scheduled to be here Thursday and Friday. Our head of Minnesota operations, Hillary Tweed, will actually be down working with her on Thursday and Friday. And this would be our plan until Caitlin graduates, then she would be able to be here 3 days a week.
That's in May.
She would graduate in May. But until then, I will be here on Tuesday, and if I need to be here another day, I have no problem driving up.
Is everybody on the council aware of exactly what is going on?
This is the,
We had a representative from CETA working for the city 3 days a week. He has tendered his resignation with CETA. So now currently we do not have one here in town.
Well, technically you do, because
Well, we are contracted with CETA.
you're contracted with CETA. And that's one of the fine points about being with CETA is we're not one person. We have 50 people on our staff. So with James not able to be here, I will be here, we will have Caitlin here, we have other people that if we need to, we can transfer in and out to make sure that you have the coverage that you need. And as I was just talking to these fine ladies over here about painting the library, Smith has a grant, it's your Paint Your Town grant, and that's something that I can help them apply for if they want to, and we could possibly get the paint for free.
Okay.
Another concern I have is that CETA's contract, I believe, was to start the first of the year,
Correct.
and we were almost till the end of January before it actually started. We've been missing some days here at the end. So, I guess I'd like to see the city compensated some of that money back.
And I have no problem with bringing that up with our leadership and having them address it. You have a valid point.
They didn't start our billing till February 6th, when James started, so we didn't pay for...
You didn't pay for
No.
January?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
So there was not a bill for January. And I know there were a couple days with weather that James didn't make it over, and we had a snafu last week. But going forward, and again, weather is going to be touchy. But hopefully, we're through that.
I don't know if you have all read our contract with CETA, but we do have the option of a 30-day notice.
Yes.
And getting out of our contract and looking at other avenues. I have spoke with not only Clinton, but other staff members in the office, and I think the common opinion is maybe we should move on and look at other options. Ultimately, it's a council decision, I'm just relaying what I know. We have a unique city here where our utility department works closely with our street department. They work together, they kind of intertwine everything. I would like to see our office doing the same thing. In order to do that, I think we need our own staff in here, but that's just my opinion.
If I can, the situation that you're in is not uncommon. We're in probably 60 communities throughout the state, Wisconsin and Illinois. And so what you're talking about, we have the ability to do.
Okay?
Now again, as you mentioned, you do have a 30-day out, and if that is your prerogative, that's up to you. I firmly believe in the company. I've been with CETA for 4 years. It is a phenomenal organization. The difference that we've been able to make in communities is astounding. And as I had mentioned, we have 50 people on staff. So if you have somebody in here, we have a question, something that comes up, hey, I want to do a facade improvement program. Well, guess what? We facilitated 10 of those throughout the state, so we've already got the groundwork laid out. We've also got people from all different backgrounds. We finally, last year, we hired our first person with an economic development background. So we have people with marketing backgrounds. with real estate, with construction. So we have unique points of view into anything that the city would run into. And yes, you have one person here, and that is your face of CETA, but you have access to the entire team, the entire network.
Do you have anything you'd like to add, Clint?
What's the best way to move forward? We're short-staffed, we have been since forever. We gotta get something figured out here, guys, we got to.
Are you comfortable moving forward with this contract? Yeah?
Well, if we can have 24 hours a week,
Which we have not had yet.
So for our current staff, I feel that if we didn't move somebody over, they would have a pretty good grasp on what has already been done previously, and,
Yes,
but then we would also have to
we'd have to go down the hiring road again.
fill another position.
Yeah. Would you like to weigh in on this one, Dee? Do you have any experience
Well,
with this?
no, not necessarily. I would say that, Seacook County has, just within the last year and a half, hired someone specifically for economic development, Team Wilson. And whatever we decide to do, I hope you know that she is on staff for the county.
So she's a resource for us.
She is not just a resource for you. She's expected to connect however she needs to assist you, because when we assist Janesville in economic development, we assist Waseca County. She works with Waseca, she works with Waldorf, she works with New Richland.
She was at our last meeting here.
Yeah, and she will work with you, but she is covering the whole county. So I don't know that she has the time to devote to economic development in Janesville the way you guys want it, you folks on the board want it done. This is a wonderful community, and I applaud you for your drive to make sure you're putting enough energy into economic development to move the needle. Small towns, that rock can be pretty hard to get rolling, but there's a lot of great things happening in the little place where I live, thanks to you. So I appreciate your thoughtfulness on this, and just know that the county wants to partner with you and support those efforts, whatever you decide.
I was very impressed with the employee that CETA had sent here. He seemed extremely knowledgeable, and, within a day or two after talking to him, he was researching and running with some projects. And I can see where that, if we could be guaranteed another person of that caliber, then I would have no problem with continuing with the contract.
And as I explained to Clinton, when we bring people in here, everybody's got a different background, everybody's got a different experience level. And if we bring somebody in here that may not have the same experience as him in some areas, but different in others, we are going to make sure that they have all the tools in order to succeed. So for your EDA meetings that are on Tuesday, I will be here, I will make sure they're run. When Caitlin can start working on Tuesdays, I will still come to the meetings. And I will sit with her to make sure that she's got everything, she's got all the tools. I'm the regional manager for all of South Central Minnesota. So if there's a question, there's an issue, I can be here in about an hour and a half. And I have no problem coming to help out. We do great things. I love how you pointed moving the needle, because that's exactly how we describe our organization, is we're moving the needle for small communities, small rural communities throughout Minnesota. And that is what we do.
I was told earlier tonight, we need somebody to run a farmer's market on Thursdays.
Well, and as luck would have it, I'm actually the treasurer for our farmers market in Jackson. So if you're wanting to put one together, I can definitely help with that.
All right?
My personal opinion, I'm just gonna weigh in on Ivan's comment for 1 second. He's not gonna be able to put a farmer's market together.
I know that.
You need a Janesville person to speak with Janesville people to get this done.
Yeah.
He may be able to bring other stuff to us, I don't think that they're gonna be able to bring us everything we need.
Exactly right. You're gonna need somebody here that champions it. I can help with the red tape from the state and getting all of that taken care of, but yes, you'll need a champion here.
Lauren Tester, does the 30-day thing, is that like we're already in a 30-day zone, or like are we allowed to give them like 30 days of trying this out and then putting the 30-day, like the 30-day thing can happen at any point?
That can happen anytime. We're not in it now.
Part of our contract is a 30-day notice.
Okay, so it's not based on the fact that we didn't have support in January, it was just...
No.
Thank you.
Anybody else have an opinion on this?
If he's willing to show up and fill in the gaps right now, I mean, if we gave him 30 days, Clinton and the office staff are gonna be kind of left hanging when nobody's there, because we can't guarantee we'll have somebody in 30 days to help them.
No.
So, I think for now, we should just keep going and see that, and what our options.
I have to agree with that.
Okay.
We can't find anybody to fill any positions the way it is.
Okay.
Can you speak up, Sarah?
We can't find anybody to fill positions the way it is.
Right.
Well, like I said, this can be revisited at any time.
Right.
I feel that if we're gonna look at doing it in-house, then we need to put some feelers out for, office help
Yep.
first, and then if we feel that we have some, interest in that, then I think we could possibly move forward to doing it in-house.
Okay. Well, at this point then, I guess it sounds like we will continue our contract with CETA. Hopefully they're willing to do everything you